Understand yourself and others and love your pets, yeah.
Good citizens of the earth! What's going on, my good people? Now, we took a week off, so I hope y'all still doing well out there. You didn't get too worried about me. I'm well taken care of over here. But today is a big show. And, this is as I continue to do episodes, one of the things that I envisioned when I put this together was to really talk to some of the men that I grew up with, that I've gone through things with, that I know them and their families and their wives, their extended families, huge friend group, and a lot of my best friends come from my college football. And one of those gentlemen on the day, you can see him on the screen, is Lee Williams. Now, if anybody knows Lee, number one, I had to get Lee on here because he looks like LL, and I figured if I got LL on my show, I'd get some views. Nah, for sure. Lee is one of my brothers, y'all. I love him to death. We grew up at University of Richmond together, going through the trenches. We were just talking about football before we signed on here, and how it's changed so much. But the beauty about Lee is that he is a paradigm shift, him himself. And I've seen him grow up and do what he's done with his nonprofit and with his family. If you've ever seen Lee's Facebook, I'm sure he'll share how to get in contact with and find him today when we talk. But his children, he has a son and a daughter. And it's amazing to me to see him and his wife parent their children. I didn't grow up with the father. I grew up with a great mother. But Lee is, number one, a father. He has multiple companies, nonprofit. He's mentored a number of young men. I mean, we're going to ask him about some of his impact numbers in the community, but he's mentored young men across the board in Charlotte, making a difference. And this is what's coming in this world. This is the change that we want to see. He is it. So, Lee, welcome, my brother. How you doing today, man?
I'm well, man. Appreciate that introduction.
Yeah, for sure. No, it's all true, man. And I left somebody. It was their birthday today, and I left another guy I grew up with in Concord. I left him a birthday message, and I just wanted to tell him just through voicemail on Messenger with my voice, and just say, look, man, I wanted to say happy birthday, but I want to tell you I see you, bro. I see you winning. I see you working hard, and I think that's important for us to do, right? Men. Especially young black men, because we've grown up in a world that we supposed to be the hardest, the fastest, the strongest. Don't take nothing, So I love it when I see you on social media be able to show that you are a man with heart, you're a man of responsibility, and tough, but also soft. I love it, man. Welcome to the show, bro.
Oh yeah, man. I appreciate it. I'm glad to be here, man. I'm ready to dig in.
Awesome. So look, here's the first question. I mean, and because I know you, I want to make sure I get your story out and what you want to say.
Yeah.
So I got some lead-in questions, bro. But this can be more conversational if you want it to be. But number one, tell us about growing up in North Carolina. We both fellow North Carolinians.
Oh man.
And tell us about that. What stands out?
Come on. Man, I believe I'm a country boy. I grew up in this town called Carthage, North Carolina, man. So it's a little smaller than Concord. Actually, we had about 1,500 people in my entire town.
And is that near it's out east, right?
Yeah, it's kind of the middle of the state near Pinehurst.
Okay. Yep.
Fayetteville here, like 30 minutes from Fayetteville. Yeah, man. It's definitely east of Concord, yeah. But I mean, growing up in North Carolina, man, it's for me was, down home, like just morals and values, like your word really meant something, I was raised by women, my grandmother and my mother, and the men in the community were, in the church. So you had a couple of those, and obviously my father was around, but they were divorced when I was like 5 years old. But to be able to see people on a day-to-day basis, that kind of started my value, and just being able to give handshakes and agreements, and not have to have a contract to do something, like those types of things. So that's what I see in North Carolina. I mean, it's a lot of things. Obviously, you got. Me going all over the place, racism, but it's just growing up there, understanding that from my perspective, just down home, being genuine, showing love for who is in your community, being understanding of others when they go through trials and tribulations, because we was all in I mean, from what I know now, in poverty, you know, what was considered that now, but I didn't feel it at the
Sure.
time,
Yeah,
you know
you
what I'm
had
saying?
love.
Because, you know what I'm saying? But it was love. Yeah, exactly. So we never needed anything. Like people, like, you know, it was in the summer times, you know, everybody be at my house or at, when I was really young, it would be at Miss, I called her grandma too. So we go and it'd be 20 kids in one house, you know, because all the parents had to be at work. So you build all those relationships. I ran through the woods. I did all those things that, you know, country boys do. And I think I got a lot of development, and especially with patience, because I was out. I mean, I was in the woods, like running around doing things. And that kind of set my base by the time I didn't even play sports till I was 7 or 8, you know. But because of just the activity that I did, you know, I just kind of naturally took to that space as a kid. And because I've always been an open person. I think I attest that to growing up in the country and being around space. My great grandfather, my great great grandfather, he owned 100 acres of land in the town in the Black community. So understanding that type of power that comes with ownership, and that's in your blood. So he broke that off to you know, all of his family and kinfolk, and we still live on that land today. You know, so that type of stuff is something that I know I got in my blood, especially back then being a landowner in the 1800s. Wow. You know, so that type of stuff right there really molded me, understanding that type of history that developed me. I know I got something different inside of me, you know? And so like when people can say that, you know, well, you guys come from, you know, slaves, that's not all we came from, you know, and that's not the whole story. So, and I learned this at earlier ages. It's just the value of ownership and having things for yourself. And even if it wasn't much, you know, we own those things, and that type of upbringing and just foundation. And I'll give even credit to the church for instilling that type of a foundation. Although I don't really consider myself Christian in the space, I'm way more spiritual in my own space, you know. But I give a great attachment to that because that's what held me down to my core, and that led me through, like, you know, like my journey through life and everything, and that foundation held me together. So I believe growing up in North Carolina was very unique because obviously, you know, it's just it's a lot of history in the space, and just the fact that, you know, anybody from North Carolina can relate to some type of a space, especially if you're Black in the country in North Carolina. It's just kind of an energy.
Yeah, for sure, man. I mean, in North Carolina, you know what it is. But it's two things you said there, man. Number one, and I didn't say this in the introduction because I always like to get the guests to talk because I pull something out of what you said. But this is about emotional intelligence and mindset, and it's basically about making emotional intelligence practical. Right? It don't have to be even with your faith, the Christianity, whatever you believe. It doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be so complicated, right? It's a way to live that allows you to be successful, treat people right, and be yourself and be happy, right? So that's what this show is about, man. How do we take just practical knowledge and turn it into success? And so a couple things you said there. Number one, growing up outside, right? I was talking to my wife about this the other day, but these algorithms, man, it's not just social media that's the problem. It's the algorithms, because I'm telling you, the way now we're older, so we can get on social media, have some fun, argue back and forth, whatever. Then we go do it. But these kids, man, we didn't have algorithms back then. There wasn't no algorithm in the tree.
But we came in like between that time, high school and college, where the internet was just now taking off. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we was first.
So we know the difference between what's real and what's not real. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And like, it's very simple for us because we know what it exists when it wasn't like this. And we knew how to communicate like that, you know? So, but now it's like when you're born into this environment that it is real to you. And for us, it's really simple. Like, well, no, get turned it off because it's just not real. You know, if I need to, but like, we make it in this world, I guess, I look at things in different dimensions because everybody has a different type of mindset in the space where they come from and how they build on and how that's, how that's actually piled on in their life to make them think the way that they think, So I try to get into those spaces with them to be able to like kind of see how, they're thinking, in a sense. But I mean, like, there's no base of knowledge for them to pull from.
They didn't fall off the tree. You know what I'm saying?
It's like they're not rooted in anything. So like these algorithms allow you to pull you and push you in wherever they want them to go, of ways, wherever you want to, because you don't have any. Either you don't know, or you don't have that base of knowledge of self to hold yourself mentally, and for these emotions that that come, and you react off of those things, and that's what really for me, that's what really makes the difference between making good and bad decisions, and understanding, like you say, that emotion, because in my idea of emotion, when it comes to it, I just have a belief that emotions in itself aren't what you would say real. They're like clouds, right? And if I were outside and I could be outside, and I do a lot of meditating. For my example here is, if I was outside and meditating, and just say I was there for 2 weeks, I'm gonna get sun, I'm gonna get rain, I'm gonna get snow, I'm gonna get like wind, I'm gonna get all these things, like gonna come through that. But like in the end of the day, when all that stuff comes through, if I don't react to anything, I'm still here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then not only am I still here because I didn't react to it, I have so much more knowledge of self because of I allowed the experience to come through. You know? And that's how I kind of feel about like how to handle those types of just emotions, and use those to direct, as you say, to actually make good steps into your life and be able to make good decisions and manifest what you want in your life.
Yeah, for sure. So, and then the other part you said was about slavery, and that wasn't all we are. And it was a comment. It was a comment made in the media a couple of weeks ago that slaves were taught how to be blacksmiths, and that helped them. That they found skills, right? But this is where education matters, because it's documented evidence that blacksmiths were in Africa 4,000 years before American slavery, right? So I totally agree with you that we need to know that, we were held in bondage and chattel slavery for 400 years, but we survived it because of who we were, right? It was a base there. Now, who could so that's what we have to get to, whether schools educate our children that way, or whether organizations like yourself and fathers like us can educate our children in a way to tell him, that absolutely is what happened to us, but this is why we're so strong, and this is what we taught America, right?
Exactly. And we can build off of whatever platform that is, because like I said, if we just look and cause just knowing, just knowing that, hey, my family, my great granddaddy had 100 acres, you know what I'm saying? And like me being the man that I am, I got that same blood in me, and I'm a dog, you know what I'm saying? So
you know what it is.
So I know I got that in me. So when I see that, you know what I'm saying, I'm from a generation of dogs, you know what I'm saying? Because you don't hear about black men owning land in the 1800s. So like that gave me a sense of something that inside of me by just knowing that, man. And if you hear all the time that you was a slave and you didn't do this all the time, that's the only thing you hear about it. What is your inside? Because that's all been put into you. And for what I know about kids, what we put into them is gonna come out. You know what I'm saying?
It'll come out.
Period. Like nothing else. That energy you got in you, whatever that confidence you got in you, it will show in them because they don't know anything else. You know what I'm saying? And you put them in that environment to where this is what it is. And in this case, you put it in that environment where you're teaching that slavery was all there was, and your people don't have any kind of innovative or anything. Oh yeah, they might have been a blacksmith done that. They don't understand. No, our ancestors revolted the entire time. The entire time. There was never peace there. Never. So understanding that, no, you was not somebody that just needed to be, woe was me and thank you, sir. No, that was never
Never.
you. You had a couple of those, but like revolts were ongoing, like, and we'll get, I'm sure we'll get into it later, but I have book club with my
Mm-hmm.
youth, so we can learn those
That's
things, so they
truth.
can understand that
Yep.
value of, oh, yo, so it's not what they're really saying it was. Like, the reality of this situation is a lot of times they were scared of
Boom.
us.
Sti-
They bargained a lot of
Yep.
time. You know what I'm saying? Like, look, if you do this and work for me for 3 years, I'll make sure you get your
Mm-hmm.
freedom. You know what I'm saying? Like people like Frederick Douglass, who came in, like we talk about a area in the book where it was a slave trainer. His name was
Mm-hmm.
Coffee, and um, Frederick Douglass got sent to him because he was out of line. So they're supposed to be breaking slaves and stuff. He's supposed to be a slave breaker, and Coffee rode him hard, almost broke him, but he just had this. He's like, you know what? I'm gonna either die doing this, or he gonna have to kill me. You know what I'm saying? But it's going today. They ain't
Day
the
to day.
day. And a 17-year-old Frederick Douglass rocked Coffee. Okay, not so much to the point where Coffee left him alone, and because Coffee couldn't tell the other people because he would lose credibility because he got whipped by a 17-year-old. So just understanding like those type of deal, like you don't have to just be subordinate.
Nah.
You have your own thoughts in
Yep.
mind. Then don't let them play these mind games on
Yep.
you by just telling you these things, because you will find out that, hey, that's all
All
propaganda.
propaganda.
And that's all it's all ever been.
Boom.
So I mean, if we can see through those things, like I said, but the algorithm got such a hold.
Boy, algorithm, man. The algorithm is powerful, boy.
Yeah, man. It is, man, and like I don't think we are aware of how powerful it really is. Because like I'm with I still deal with my kids on a daily
Mm-hmm.
basis. We're in chat, we're in group
Mm-hmm.
chats, we got FaceTime, we call, we talk, and I got obviously my program
Mm-hmm.
director who really does the day-to-day work with them, but like it has to be a constant in these kids'
Yeah, bro.
life, because the algorithm is a
Boy.
constant in their
And
life.
it's putting them. It's
So
putting the ones that they. I see this in live and living color.
mhm,
They put the ones that's having
mhm,
problems and they match them up. I'm telling you, and they make them
mhm,
meet.
mhm.
It's
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah,
So it's
mhm,
an interesting world, man. But yeah, we got to
mhm,
stay on watch, bro. Because
yeah,
definitely,
yeah,
because
man.
the people we think on watch are not on watch. They're not on watch, man.
No, no,
So
no,
tell me,
no.
and we're gonna jump into some of your family
Okay,
and career here in a second. But tell me about athletics, man.
okay.
What do you bring out of that a young person can make sure that they bring out of it if they're playing athletics now, high school, going to college?
Man, that is a foundational pillar in my life, man. Like I owe pretty much all of my like work ethic, my
Mm-hmm.
discipline, my drive, my passion, like understanding disappointment.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like all of those things you go through when you're dealing with athletics, man. You know what I'm saying? Like all of it. So having the like sports molded me to be the dog that I you know what I'm saying, now I'm talking about inside. It built self-confidence because one, it's all about delayed
Mm.
gratification, you know? What I'm saying? So like when you are having to put in work with something like, and you know what entrepreneurship
Mm-hmm.
is, you know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Like so like when you understand that, yo, this is just the work I got to put in because I done this
Mm-hmm.
before. And
Hey.
you know what? I got a free ride. I got a free ride to school because
Yeah.
of it.
Yeah.
You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So like that's what it did for me. It's like, yo, I know what I can do like inside of me, and I know what I got because I already done it, and I can continue to do it because I got continued proof that I am doing it. I might mess up sometimes, I might fall, but I promise you, I'm gonna get there,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because that's what sports gave me, you know what I mean? And I was able to be successful, and I did have a God-given ability, like anyone who plays in Division One
Mm-hmm.
college
Mm-hmm.
athletics, because it's really a small percentage of us
Yeah.
out
Very
here,
small.
So it's only 100,000, I think, athletes period per year.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying, in college. So that's less than 1% of the
Yeah. Tiny.
population that's coming
Mm-hmm.
through. You know what I'm saying? So like, I just like when you understand going through stuff you don't want to do, doing stuff you don't want to do, but still getting up and like Because me, it didn't matter to me. Like, I still enjoyed it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When I was out there, we had mad drills. I was like, let's
Yeah, you're
go.
competitive. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, exactly. So like, I mean, and that's how it was. And especially when you're dealing with a bunch of alpha males, it's like, yo, it's either kill or be killed, bro. You got to match that energy.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
So like, I mean, but it taught me, to actually compartmentalize different things too, because as I was at University of Richmond, because I got there and it was like, football was my thing. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to the league. That's all I'm thinking about. But when I was able to see other people, you know what I'm saying, that came from different backgrounds, I'm like, yo, they good at football, but they got other interests too, So like, I would have never been able to be exposed to anything else besides of what I knew in my mentality if I didn't get around other people from other parts of the country and being able to kind of use those things that I seen to merge into my space where I felt I had deficiencies. Yeah. And that's where it also comes from, with sports, you being able to have these relationships like I have with you and, Chris and everybody on the team, to be able to like, yo, like, it don't matter how old we get, you know what I'm saying? Whatever, D guy and them, it's still like, we still like feel like we was in the locker room in 2 days. And when you got inside drill, we going up, head up every time, you know what I'm saying?
For sure.
It's a different kind of relationship because, like you said at the beginning, we've been through something together. And like, that never leaves because that energy stay connected, and that right there can fuel a lot of different things inside of you because that is possible, and that connection can be made through that type of delayed gratification because you don't really realize what you're going through until you're through it.
Bro, delayed. I was actually reading something yesterday. It's a big scientific word for that, but delayed gratification, man, and that's our culture's problem, bro. And the beauty,
everybody
want it now, and nothing really. Even like you can say, I give you $50 a day, $1,000 in a week, and most people go take that $50 a day. So at the end of the day, but that's exactly what athletics built in me is. I like to talk about it as moments, right? You practice 10,000 hours to play 10 minutes total. Right? So so you gotta understand that number one, you gotta put the work in, and number two, you better show up when it's time. Right? And that's what athletics taught me. And then number three, man, relationships. Like you said, I mean, well, we going on 22, 23 years. And I don't know if I know other athletes that went to other programs, bro. And they got like oh, let's party and go get wasted relationship. But I don't really, you don't see a lot of them that have the relationships that we have throughout Jim Reed's program. The years he was there, because we went through something together, man. And there's something to be said about that. And that's what scares me about athletics these days, of just they're not going through nothing no more, right? If you don't want them to hit each other in the head, fine, but it's something that they need to go through out there in 2 days, and the things they don't do no more, that it's going to cost them when they get to our age, right?
Well, I believe that obviously, I didn't believe in some of them drills we used to do back in days. I'm like, them kickoff drill, you wedge bust the drills and stuff like that. That was crazy.
Yeah, crazy.
I was like, I thought that was. I used to voice my opinion back
Marcus
then.
Neal,
this is crazy, man.
bro, freshman year, Marcus Neal about knocked me out on that drill, bro.
I'll be like, this is crazy, man. Like Coach Reed used to be mad. I'm like, nah, man. I'm sidestepping, bro. They don't even come like this in the game. But like, yeah, man. So I mean, like, now they have. A lot of things, and I don't even want to call it soft. I call it different. But like, when you change the paradigm of what it is now, you know what I'm saying? You're gonna have like, it's not gonna be the same. It's more finesse type of deal. Like you really don't have to go through a lot of like strenuous stuff to get to where you want to be, because a lot of time you got the NIL, you got the, which I don't disagree with.
No, I like it.
But you got. Yeah, but you got the NIL, you got like this social media thing. I mean, everybody on social media like doing their thing, which I'm cool with that. But it's like, when we focusing on this football, like, we was locked in. You know what I'm saying?
Couldn't even smile after Thursday, bro.
Yeah, bro. Like 2 days was not a celebration. You know what I'm saying? Nope. Everyone knew when camp came, it was
on.
grind
You better
time.
get your mind right.
It was no females on the campus. It was like grind time, and every day. I mean, I just remember the theme song was like, "We gon' make it." You know what I'm saying?
Oh shit, we had a hard knock life. for us. Well, that was every day right there. We played that just to make it through.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just to make it
Yeah,
through.
bro.
But the focus that was
Yeah,
there,
can't beat us.
like I said, you don't really realize what you're in until you step out of it and you look back at it. You're like, yo, we was in a tight line, yo. You know what I mean? Like it was like, practice, meetings, practice, meetings, practice. You know what I'm saying? Every day. And like when you're in that environment, it does something to your psyche that changes your mindset. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's undervalued in sports.
Undervalued.
And I think that's what allows us as kings, how we are, to do the things that we're doing in life now. Because like I said, that willing to like, yo, hey, I can always go up and back.
Always.
Always, you know what I'm saying? Even if we get overtime, I go up and back again, Like, I know I will persevere because after I get through this, I know on the other side of that is that gratification I'm looking for. You know what I'm saying?
I like to say, go ahead.
I was just saying, and like understanding that, even if I finish, I might not be there, but I'm a step closer to it.
That's what I was just going to say. Is I found out that winning don't have to feel good. Because look, I had a young person said to me one day, God must not want me to do this because it's too hard. That is not so. I
see. I don't even understand that mindset.
And that's what I'm saying. So I don't call it soft either, but it's something there that's hard to grasp in order to because what is worth it if it ain't hard?
Right. If it was easy, everybody would do it, right? So it's like to be able to be great at anything, you're gonna have to go through something.
Period.
You can. Because that grind is what builds that character inside of you throughout the journey, the ups, the downs. Like, and I just, I call it, it's like a line. It looked like I'm trying to go up, but it's gonna be like this, but I'm still steadily gonna be moving up. You know what I'm saying? I'm be gaining, and I understand that. And once you can look at that type of perspective, nothing's hard anymore. You know what I mean?
Nothing.
And that's where the mindset comes from sports. And that was like I said, a foundational thing in sports. That like, yo, I might not be the best at it right now, but I know I'm gonna work at it. And I promise you, I'm gonna get there. You know what I mean? And that it's unstoppable. That's not gonna be the case for me. So like, yes, you couldn't do it, but I ain't you.
I told Brad, you keep saying stuff. I told somebody I think I was on I did a little class I was teaching. I said, it's good to be coached and good to have mentors and it's good to have people you can knock some questions off of. But at the end of the day, your results ain't gonna be mine, good or bad.
Yeah, exactly. And let me find out for myself. You know what I'm saying? Like, because why would you try? Like, I know certain things, and I just seen this through just experience and mentorship. Like, I know, like, photography and videography and those things like that. I know those things. But if I tell my mentee who is learning to do the photography, videography, if I tell him everything and don't let him experience that failures and successes himself, then it's not good. I can't just let it roll out. You know what I'm saying? I got him in a space. I have them in a space to where I know what's in the space. So like, just operate there.
Exactly.
And when it's time, you'll know to start wandering outside of that space because you have to fertilize the ground for them to be able to grow.
Love it.
And so that's basically my whole philosophy. Going into what we do as far as like nonprofit and to be able to. All of that has just come from my life's journey and through like foundation in sports. Like I can't even like express enough what sports has done for my life, which is why as a family, it's a big thing in my life because
For sure. So we're gonna talk about your family, and then we're gonna jump into your career, and we'll wrap it up. I mean, if anybody go to Lee's because all your stuff's public. Go to Lee's social media right now.
Yeah.
+1 everywhere. Lee Williams on my Genius campaign. Happy Tees. I mean, you can keep going, but go look at his children. Look how his wife's a teacher, Dana, who I love to death as well, and great examples of what parents should be. I don't care what age. Go look at them. Like, how did you get there, man? Like, what? Obviously, I know, but tell us, like, how. Number one, because a lot of parents like to be field parents, but the kid don't really respond to it. Whereas, bro, your kids be out there hustling. I mean, I'm impressed. Running through the line, like stuff we didn't learn till we got to college. Tell us about that, man.
Well, like I said, man, it was like I said, everything came from just athletics and being coached over the years, you know, and like those are just things you heard all the time, right? So I made that the norm for them, you know, like that's the standard. So we've operating at this level, never this level, and that wasn't something that I did. Cause I mean, like literally, like I planned all of this, bro. When I was little, both of them, when I would change their diapers, I would have their legs moving. I'd be like, speed. I'm serious. I'm like speaking this into existence, bro. Like, you know, like really speaking this into existence. Like, yo, they didn't even know what's happening, but I'm putting that energy in them now. So I'm moving their little legs like that. And they love me doing it, stuff like that. And like, and you know, I just gave them balls, you know, stuff like that all the time. Just let them be in that. They would see me do stuff all the time. So I just had them with me. So like, they don't really know any different. I love it. You know what I'm saying?
I love it, bro.
That's just the culture of what it is. And like with my wife, like I really have to give her, you know, man, bulk the credit because like she was already an educator. And I mean, and as you know, as your wife does something, you're gonna really be doing it too. Because you know,
it is what it is. You in there, you put it together, you breaking it down.
Yeah. So I mean, like the conversation and stuff, and just learning from like you know stuff that she's learning is like, or they're trying to the curriculums in school and stuff that they give, and because now she's a curriculum coordinator. I was academic facilitator. So basically, she has like is in charge of like the academic plan and how it's implemented, etc. Which she got Thanksgiving. She kind of moved that one out the way in school, but which is really cool.
For sure.
But
no, I love it, man. I love it, man. I look at y'all. I look at y'all on social media, man, and it gives me goosebumps watching Lena and Aya run through the line and like literally competing. And I'm like, you don't see that early, man.
Yeah, I mean, and you learn stuff like I said, you know, from just from how like Dana has told me about, you know, like the emotions of children and how children's minds operate and just being in the reality of that situation, you know. So there's just been like a couple philosophies that we go, like we've always talked to them like we talking right now, you know. Like there's never been any like they're little humans, not children, you know. And that's where we have really have the mindset of it's like, you know, they're little humans and they're going to be bigger humans and when they grow up. So what type of fertilizer, what type of seeds do we want to plant there? And we did that very, very, very intentionally.
Yeah, no, bro, you can see it. Like I ain't even exaggerating, man. I'm like, this is amazing. I can look at them like I'm looking at the Super Bowl. Like I just like I want to see it. But so we got a couple more for you. But bro, fatherhood, man, I love it. I love to see it on you, bro. And the young men out there, you always hear that fathers ain't present. And that was my experience in my life, but that's not the experience I see around me. And that's what I think friend groups, people that you are around, and you may not even live in the same place, but you connected to. It's good to see that in you because I was gonna be a father too because I didn't have one, but I know I gotta live up to it when I see my boys doing it, right? So
man, and that's what it's about though, man. It's about being an example because I got a Prentice, I got my Prentice turned business partner, and John, you know, and Mark, you know, my other business partner, like that's what we talk about. It's like, what are your actions? Because, you know, I have a quote I always say, you know, children seldom listen, you know, but they never fail to imitate, you know, and that's something that we have to always be mindful of because whatever your actions, I promise you, they're going to do.
Yeah, for sure. I actually got that quote from you. They ain't listening, but they definitely looking. I did. I ain't lying. I got that from you. Yeah. So tell us, man, about P1, Positive One, your community work, why you started it. We got about about
All
8 minutes left, and then so go through
right.
that, and then at the end, I got a couple real quick ones for you.
All right, cool. Like Positive One, is just a company that developed. Our mission is to empower and encourage people to think
Mm-hmm.
positively by building up their self awareness, self confidence, and self worth. And that all starts with a
Mm-hmm.
mindset. Um, Before the pandemic happened, we were doing lots of workshops, etc., with like the jail up in Charlotte Mecklenburg County, especially with the 16, 17-year-old youthful offenders. And we actually work with the adult offenders too for about a year and some change. So it's really just getting the mindset, especially of Black males, underprivileged people, in the space of understanding how they can navigate themselves by going internally instead of externally to be able to succeed in life and manifest what they want.
Self-discovery.
Yeah,
And,
yeah,
and
and we.
no,
Sorry, we also talk about, like, we have our book is we have a book called Lessons of Self Discovery. That's a children's book. So it's really about understanding your true power within, and like, because we don't really go within, we always think it comes from
sure.
out, but that power is always on the inside. And our nonprofit, the Own My Genius campaign, is kind of like the philanthropic arm of that. To where we focus specifically on young youth and helping prevent negative life outcomes by building up that self-awareness, self-confidence, and self-worth. So whatever those things are, like whatever they are, what we really do is videography, photography. We make T-shirts with them through those. Just like in the sports space, you're going to have a journey of understanding and be able to start develop this self-confidence, because you have now understand what it takes to have that delayed gratification after 3-4 years of being able to do something and learn a skill. And like with the music part that we have is, like, we have a music group. They've had 5 albums now. They've been with us since they've been 9 years old. Like, they dogs, you know what I'm saying? So I mean, like, they understanding, they're being able to start to understand this delayed gratification, because we just had a concert like this past Saturday, their first biggest concert that they had. And like, when they perform, like you said, right, when it's time to perform, hey, it's time to
Put that
go.
work in. You
And
got to
they
show it. You got to
killed
show it.
and they killed it. And they killed it. I mean, they killed it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I was in my hotel room, it's jamming. You know what I'm saying? It's like, so that now I can talk to them about the next step now. You know what I'm saying? Because you can't show them, they got to experience it. And now we can talk on another level, because there's a connection with that work ethic, that now I can talk to you about it because you know what I'm talking about. Just like if somebody came from University of Richmond who's 15 years, maybe, well, let's say 10 years behind us, like, just by the energy, like, yo, you already know.
Yeah, part of the
It's not
bloodline.
even a question. Yeah.
Man, I love it, man. Tell us some of your impact numbers, man. Tell us. I mean, I've seen it for 10 years, right? Tell us some of the stuff you've accomplished. How many kids went through it? How many? Tell us.
Man, we've had in the past 9 years, man, we've had over 450 kids come through our program. Different workshops, like different detention centers, jails, and overall, there's so many different variables that go into this space, which is why it's a life's work and not a one time, like, I'm gonna help type of thing. Like, this is real life. This is real life for me.
Yeah.
So like, we have a core group of about 10 to 12 that we are dealing with for the past 5 years now, and that's in the west side of Charlotte, where, because the issue is so vast where we live in Charlotte, we had to narrow that down to a community. And then we just chose the neighborhood on West Boulevard that was high crime, high gang rates, etc. So we've been able to harness some like these core people, and we said we're going to go with what we have here for this time period, because like when COVID came in, they wouldn't allow us to go out into the community anymore. So we just said, we're going to stay with our core group of people, be able to give them all of the attention and focus all of our energies in those, and see what happens in that space. And it has been phenomenal. I mean, absolutely phenomenal. I have one who started his own clothing line 2 years ago. He sold over 250 pieces of clothing,
Wow.
and it's still going. It's clothing brand's named Dolo World. Got another one who's he's been doing the photography and videography now for about. He's been in the program for 4 years, but he really picked up. We were able to get him a camera and stuff like that to give him the tools that he needed. He's taking off with that now. He comes and he can do jobs for me with my apprentice John,
beautiful.
And he can really get some stuff going. He also got a job on the school media team, so he's making money freelance and he's making money doing that. So our whole intention is to the median income household is $19,000 in the community that we serve.
Wow.
And our whole intention is to teach them skills, because if let's just say if you're making the $19,000,
you just changed the whole world, bro.
Yeah. Now if let's just say I know I can make 10 grand just taking pictures like with my eyes closed at this stage, right? So if you can make $10,000 doing that on top of your 19, now you're out of the poverty space.
And,
you know what I'm saying?
then not only that, bro, you got a base to build on. You know what I'm saying? I didn't learn business until I was in my 30s.
Yes. Exactly. So we're teaching them, like I said, they don't understand what they're learning at certain times. It's just we're taking them through the processes. So now when they turn around, like, oh, I already know that. You know? Yeah. And once you know the process in any business, once you understand the process, like, you're going to be good. It just take, okay, I got to learn this. Okay, this might be this. Then you'll be able to kind of replicate that in any space. So we're just trying to teach them these foundational skills that are very basic, but very, very effective.
Practical.
Yeah.
They can use it. Right. So we got a couple more questions, but and what you just said, connecting is, I like to name everything. And that's the apple orchard approach. The reason that you have apple orchards is not just because you can get them all in one. It makes it easier for the farmer, for sure. It makes it easier for you to go out there and pick some apples with your family. But and from a genetics and an ecosystems perspective, you have an apple orchard because the bees are all right there. You got good protection. Disease can't come in. You got a lot of different variety, but from the same thing. That's what you're growing, man. You and Mark and John are growing an apple orchard, bro, and a healthy one. You got apple trees, bro. You got kids that are going to do something with their life because of you, man. And not a lot of people can say that. That's beautiful.
Well, I mean, that's what like I said, that's the beauty of life, you know, because that's love, you know, and them understanding like what like kind of we talked about at the beginning, like understanding like a black man. Like a lot of times the communities we serve, like it's 92% women in the neighborhood. So where they gonna learn how to be a man from? You know, like I mean, you have a basketball team, I think, and we had a basketball team this fall, and let's see, 7 out of 9 players on the team don't even have a father on their birth certificate. So like, you know, when you're dealing with those types of situations and stuff like that, and gangs and stuff like that at your front doorstep, you know, some classmates with guns and stuff like that. Like once you're dealing with that type of stuff, you know, you understand like, yo, I understand why they're acting like this, because they just don't know. They haven't been exposed to these types of things. And once they are exposed to them, then watch them grow and flourish. Because they're already resilient. No difference. But there's no difference with when you have the same like type of opportunities and being able to understand and being at least somewhat of a type of same level ground of understanding and learning, because like we know for a fact that poverty and crime and all that stuff like that, no matter the race, is that's what's connected to it.
Result.
You know what I'm saying? It's no matter the race. Where there's poverty, there's crime. So if we understand that we can kind of create a different environment to create a different kind of mindset in a community wide, and for our cases, they're channeling that through their music, because now they're giving their neighborhood, they're giving their community pride in what they're doing, and they're rapping about positive, uplifting things, quoting themselves as kings, etc. So what's that going to do to the next generation that we have coming behind them now? So like those types of things that we have going on in the community right now, because now we're going to start our new next generation of the same thing that we're doing. But who's going to be teaching that now? The same people that live in that community.
That's awesome, man. And then this is
Yeah, man.
and we gonna talk more. We gonna get
Yeah.
on another time. But this is why I want to get it on, man,
Yeah.
because people need to know what we are doing out here. Not me,
Yeah.
you, but we, a
Yeah.
group of young black males that's changing the world, right? So
Yeah.
tell me, man, two last questions. What's next? First, and then second, how can parents? Well, you said I won't go there because you already said you're dealing with the neighborhood, and then
Yeah.
so what's next for you? Family P1, whatever.
Yeah.
Are you raising money and how people can donate? All right.
Okay.
And then 3, what's your parting message? The world is in chaos. We see it. What's the solution? But start with that first. What's next?
All right. First, what's next is what's directly next is we're taking our young men down to Charleston, South Carolina on August 14th or 16th. We got some historical landmarks, some slave plantations. We're gonna give them some understanding of culture. Like I said, understanding we're not slaves, but understanding what went through so they can have more value in what they do have today. And like that's very important in anyone's life, is to be able to like understand and not be told what happened, but you actually
find out.
know what happened from what's going
Funny
on.
thing, not to cut you off. Funny thing, when you go down there, and I think it's a little bit north of Charleston, but so my grandmother's side, my mom's side of the family, PA, P-E-A-Y.
Okay.
It's French, right? And some people say PA, but it's a PA plantation. In South Carolina, and that's where our last name came from, a white slave owner. But anyway, go ahead.
All right, there you go. Yeah. All right, so we got that. That's in the immediate future. We got a couple of our kids going to college and stuff like that. That's really cool. We got some of our young men, not our group, the OMG young guys. They have they're continuing to get more bookings for concerts now. There's so many options that are going to be there for them, but for us and inside internally, it's more of the same.
Yeah,
it's the grind.
Changing the world
every single day. Like not getting distracted by things that are happening out here in the world, and just staying focused on what our life's work is and what our mission is. Because like I'm tunnel vision. And that's kind of where we are right now. Obviously we love to raise money, like we can raise money. So if you want to donate to what we're doing, go to www.omgcampaign.org and you can donate there. It's on the front page. I promise you, it's right there. I'll even go closer to the screen. It's right there. Okay.
Yeah, for sure. But the beauty of it, and I'll say this is that because people get weird with money, but the beauty of it is that you giving your money to somebody that's changing the world, like not putting in their pockets, right? So, but beautiful.
Take no profits, man. Like I said, everything that comes in is going into the community, especially since I'm not doing that full time. Like which has really helped me. Actually, was a blessing because I can see it from a different level now. Obviously, from kind of organizing and managing rather than actually being in it on the day-to-day basis. And it's a lot easier to leverage, when you can see it from up above, from the skybox. You know what I'm saying? Eye in the sky don't lie, right? But
it don't.
Like so, yeah. So that's where we're headed. And like I said, I'm not concerned about being the biggest or the most popular. I'm concerned about making results. Say again.
Results. Boom. Impact.
Results, impact, and changing young men's life. Like my whole goal is like I'm trying to be somebody's testimony. You know what I'm saying? Like I want to be I want my name to come in somebody's testimony. That right there is love. That's gold. That's $1 million. That's I got what I need.
That's
you know what I'm saying?
Beautiful. Yeah, that's what I say. I tell them, like, what's your life goal? I mean, that's a big one, but honestly, I want people to say good things about me at my funeral. That literally. Yeah. If people come to my funeral and say he was a good guy, yeah. That's all I want.
Yeah, exactly.
For sure.
I mean, 100 years from now, you know what I'm saying? Like I want to be able to say, I'm not me say I won't be here 100 years from now, but 100 years from now, I want what I'm doing to grow, and people take it to heights of whatever that is, but I mean, like, I still don't know what's going to happen. We don't know what's going to happen, what we're doing, but we're planting so many seeds that, I mean, I know it's all going to be good for sure.
Bro. It's impossible for it not to be good.
It's impossible
because you're putting because it's coming from the right place, and you coming
Yeah,
from the right
yeah.
place, and you dealing with young kids that are already resilient. So if you just give them the path, that's what I mean. They gonna be fine. All right, man. So the world is in chaos. I think we all agree, no matter what you believe and where you at. What's the solution, real quick?
Man, it's peace, man, and peace within. Like, if it ain't love, it ain't real. And that's my I guess, yeah, that's if it's not love, and that's how I live my life, and that's just understanding, like, is that of love or is that not of love? And if it is not of love and you understand that energy of that, I just remove myself from that space. Really, I don't even have to remove myself. It won't get near me, really. And the more you go inward, to love yourself, because understanding yourself is understanding the world and the universe,
Perfect.
So that's my message to the world. Like, I never take anything personal. Understand that inside is what you made of. You made in my belief, you made of star stuff. Like, we are a part of God. Whatever way you believe it, that's who we are. And once you understand that true power, there's no way you can go into depression. There's no way you can go into any of those types of things, because that don't exist in the world of love. So if that's the case, you're going to see hate and everything like that, but just understand that what it is, if you react to it, now you in it. So I'm just in the space of peace and understanding what love is. Don't mean things don't happen to come around, but understanding that if I just stay consistent in this space of love, then I know that my life and everything that I want and have imagined and meditated on will manifest.
Beautiful. I love it, man. Look, I think to wrap this up, you guys, this has been a beautiful conversation. We went way over, but I knew we would, because I knew we was gonna have something to talk about. But the beauty of it is this young man right here. Just before we got on, he started this nonprofit along with his partner Mark, and now Lee's going on to do other things for his family. And he took one of the young men that started in that program, that is now running it, and running it well. Family. Married, it's beautiful, man. So that's who we got sitting right here. Clap it up for my boy. I love you, man. I'm giving your flowers now, and I'm going to keep giving them. I appreciate what you guys do. Go check it out. P1, go donate money, donate time if you can do it. But check them out, man.
Let me give them the handles, man. You go to IamPositive1.com. OMGcampaign.org. You can go buy some t-shirts. It needs some work done there. IamHappyTees.com. You can also see us on anything at I Am Positive One. Everything on all social medias. Positive One Clothing. Get your merch. Spread the love, man. Appreciate you having us on the show.
Nah, man, we're gonna be back. I gotta get Mark on here too. I want John on here. You coming back. This is just the start, man.
Oh yeah.
I love you, bro.
All right, man.
Be safe. Talk to you soon, man.
All right, man.
Peace.
Yep. Bye.
Good citizens, we out. Thanks for tuning in.
About life now, turn on the lights now. The Emotional Pickup Podcast, yeah. Talking about life now, turn on the lights now.